Hi, this is Seth with Alliance Games. I'm here with Matt from Steamforged Games, and we're going to go over the game Godtear today.
Absolutely, we are. Thanks for having me. Super excited to tell you about Godtear. It's a tactical minis game disguised as a board game.
Okay.
What I mean by that is it has all the depth and excitement of a tactical minis game, but it has the accessibility of pre-made minis. It all comes on a board. It's played without a tape measure. You're using hexes, but you've still got all that depth of how all the characters and their minions interact with each other.
Okay. How do you play?
So it's a head-to-head game, scenario-driven, and the scenarios really feed off of the core story of the game. In this world, the gods have died, and the reason the gods have died is because people stopped worshipping them. They got sad, and their sadness literally broke their hearts. And as they died, they fell to the earth, and their tears of sorrow plunged into the earth and caused this massive apocalypse, and then everyone on the planet basically died.
Oh.
And then crawling out of the ooze, primordial ooze, and evolution starts again, and mankind and mortal kind starts to kind of flourish.
Okay.
And people start to discover these objects of immense power. It's actually the essence of gods plunged deep into the earth. And what they found is that some people are actually able to absorb the power, take on the power of the gods, and in so doing, they grow in stature, they grow in power, and they grow in their lust for more.
Oh, that
So
sounds
we are
wonderful.
playing champions who have banded together, who are fighting against other champions, almost Highlander-like, trying to be the one that has all of the Godtears and the most powerful. But the secret of the world is, the conceit of the world is this has happened many times before. This is how pantheons of gods rise and then fall ultimately. So the champions that we play are nascent gods to ascend to the pantheon. So they will, over time, become the god of death, the god of life, and then they will then eventually ascend, and then the cycle will begin again.
Sounds amazing. How many players do you normally have for a game?
So you can play 2v2 is how the game is designed, but because the game is targeted to play 3 champions on each side, we've actually had a lot of fun playing 6-player games where each player takes control of a champion and their followers. But if you're playing in a more organised play environment, you would be controlling all 3 champions and their followers yourself.
Okay. How long does the game normally take to play?
So it's been designed to target to last no more than an hour. Usually, for once you understand how to play the game and you've got a little bit of experience, like a lot of these things, generally about 45-50 minutes.
Okay.
The game's got a pretty clever, nifty little mechanic about how we actually score the VPs. So the game goes no longer than 5 turns,
Okay.
and that is guaranteed because you play the first of 5 victory points. And the way you win victory points is in each round, you end up with this little tug of war with the token on your side of the line. And in order to score points during each round, your champions claim Godtears, which are these little scenario points here, or they take out enemies, or they take out enemy champions.
Okay.
And what you can, so as you're doing that, each is worth varying amounts of points, and you're tug of warring with this token, and whoever ends up with it on their side, they claim that token and the corresponding amount of VPs. Now, turn 1 is worth 1 VP, turn 2 is worth 2, turn 3 is worth 3, but turn 4 is back down to 2, and turn 5 is back down to 1. So generally, it really accelerates into sort of turn 2 is pivotal, turn 3 is where all of the action is actually, absolutely happening, and then turn 4, turn 5, well, generally you don't get to turn 5. But the game's been really carefully designed to make sure that you're always in it. So one of the things that I found with war games, maybe because I'm not terribly great at them, is making sure that I felt that I was engaged in the game all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a rough first turn, you've only lost 1 VP, that's fine, set yourself up for turn 2, and then you can come back strong. If you can win turn 2, suddenly you're out in front. Doesn't matter, even if you lose turn 2, if you can grab turn 3, it's all even, and you're always, so the games stay really tight, really close all the way through. None of your models, none of your champion models are ever taken off the board. So if they're taken out, they are literally just forced back. If your followers are taken off the board, that's fine. You can do a recruit action and bring your followers back on.
Okay, so it's always rolling in.
Always rolling in. You've always got your minis and your toys available to you to play the game. So each of the characters, so the champions are the larger minis, have special abilities, and they combo obviously with their followers, but they also combo with potentially other followers. And one of the fun things about this game is There are over 20 champions available with followers, and there is no factions. So you can literally pick the 3 champions you like the look of. So if you like Lily, you can grab Lily. You can grab Rangosh, because Rangosh is the best.
I do kind of like Rangosh.
Everyone likes Rangosh. And it shows an impeccable taste, if you don't mind me saying.
I think he's wonderful.
There you go.
All these models are actually great.
So you could literally grab this, and this only becomes your warband. Hey, you want to try a different way of doing it, you grab Titus, you put Titus in there.
Okay.
And what you can see is we've actually got 4 different colours, and these represent the different types of champion. So the champion in blue is a guardian, and they excel at control. So they score extra VPs or extra points during the round whenever they claim Godtears. Maelstroms in yellow are brilliant at area of effect. They're great at clearing out followers. They get extra VPs whenever they kill followers.
Okay.
Reds are slayers, and they are absolutely brilliant at killing champions, and they get extra points for doing that. And shapers are a bit more of a wild card, so they manipulate the battlefield, so they get extra points for whenever they do some of their kind of hijinks. So that's basically the game. It's played over 5 turns, head-to-head, scenario-based. We have an interesting way that the scenarios evolve during the course of the gameplay.
Okay.
So if, let's say we're playing a game and I end up winning the first turn, each scenario is designed to evolve in a different way. So if we were playing the life scenario, which is where the number of tiles actually grows out, we would randomly determine how many tiles there are by rolling a number of dice, and the person who lost that turn gets to decide where to put the tiles down. So let's say you generated 3 of these bad boys. You could then work out, well, actually, it works in my favour to start bringing the scenario points back to me over here, making it harder for me to...
Okay.
So if Titus is lurking about here, he can actually stick his banner over there, much harder for me to get to.
Okay.
And that means that every single time you play, it plays out in a different way.
So that's lots of good replayability on it.
Huge amounts of replayability, and discovering the different combinations that you can have with each of the different champions and followers, and how they then all mix together. Now, one of the things that's also quite innovative about this is the game is played in 2 phases. So phase 1 is essentially a planning phase, very strategic phase, and that is whoever's going first will basically take their full first planning phase, and they will do everything. And then their opponent will see what they're setting themselves up to do. They will get to respond, and then we'll flip to the clash phase, which is more of a tactical phase, and that is where we then you go, I go on individual activations.
Okay, that sounds wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And this is available right now?
Absolutely, yes. It's been out for a little while. Unfortunately, COVID had a bit of an impact on a head-to-head, face-to-face game, as you can imagine. So we're actually... I don't know if it translates, but in the UK, if you support soccer, if your key striker's been out for like 6 months with a dodgy hamstring, and he comes back, everyone says, "Wow, it's like a new signing." So this is our new signing. So Godtear is here. There's 2 start sets, which one of them is here, the Borderlands, and then you've got the Eternal Glade. And between those, you get 1 of each champion. You get the board, you get the tiles and the tokens and all the dice that you need.
So what does the game normally run?
So the start set's at 55-ish, and the champions are around about $32, $33.
Okay, that's really good, affordable. And is there somewhere people can go to find out more information online?
We have a huge amount of information on the website at steamforged.com, and have a search for Godtear on there. There's always cool content going up. The Facebook group for Godtear is incredibly busy, popular.
Yeah.
There's loads of people putting up painted minis and talking about different strategies. And one of the things that they're talking about right now is one of the things that we've launched at Adepticon this year, which is our organised play kit.
Oh.
So I'm super excited to kind of take you through this. So what we wanted to do was really focus the Godtear experience on supporting a philosophy of an event should be for everyone. So one of the things that we saw with really competitive events is, let's say you're going to a 16-man event. For a competitive game, maybe 3 or 4 guys who are turning up, or girls who are turning up, are going to play, stand a chance of winning, right? So that means that there's 12-ish people who just don't. Now, out of that 12, there's probably about 4 or 5 people who think, and on any given Sunday, they might YOLO themselves up to the top table. That's great. But then there's the 4 or 5 people who know that they're never going to do that. They know they're never going to get anywhere near top table. Why do they turn up? Well, they turn up because they like the painting. But more importantly, one of the things that we found when we talk to players is all of them like the social.
Yeah.
They like catching up with people that they chat online with. They like meeting new people. They like getting 4 or 5 games of a game that they love. So why don't we design an OP kit to support that ethos rather than singularly focusing on the one person who actually wins and gets all the goodies? So what we wanted to do is make sure that everyone gets something to take home from running one of these OP kits. So it's designed to be a day's event, or you could play it over a number of game nights as an ongoing campaign. You get some cool, unique acrylic tokens, and you also get, and these are different for every OP kit, character boards. So everyone gets to take home those. You then also get custom mats. There's loads of stuff that we cram into this. And what's exciting about the custom mats is these are also things that you get to take home. And the reason that they are exciting is because we have introduced a thing that we are calling murder stickers.
Oh no.
So every time you're playing the game, you sit down, let's say we've been matched, we sit down and Rangosh comes in and does what Rangosh does. Lily gets like absolutely flattened and bang, she's taken out. I grab a murder sticker and I can put it on the board where she's got taken out.
Just so you remember where that happened.
Just so I remember, and then more importantly, the next time someone sits down at the table that we just played in, they know that something bad happened there, and then they get to take out champions. And what we've seen over the course of a tournament or like an event is just murder stickers end up all over the place. And you'd be amazed at how many times they kind of cluster in and around the middle, and you sit down at a table and you're like, oh my God, what happened here? But you then get to take it home. So 4 players get to take home one of the boards to remember the day by.
All the murdering.
Of all the murdering, which is what it's all about. And the other thing that's super exciting is you get to take home these cards, which are the ways that we actually control the game. So essentially what you've got in here is a deconstructed Swiss system, which essentially means that at the beginning, the TO will just deal out n number of cards.
Okay.
That will tell you what table you're actually on, who your opponent is, any special rules for that particular table.
Okay.
And then if you win or you lose, it tells you what card to go and ask for next. And then you get, over the course of a day, 4 or 5 of these that help remind you of the story. So you might start lost in the woods, and then you might end up going all the way through the flow of battle, and then you find yourself at the equilibrium, which is the ancient spring, and then your climactic battle is in the forest clearing as you're fighting your way out.
That's amazing.
Right?
I love that.
So every player will get those to take home, and that will help them remember. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, and you often listen to these people say, hey, I went to an event, had a brilliant game against, can't remember his name. So giving people little mnemonics to help them remember who their opponent was, when they fought them, what the special rules were, having the murder stickers that are the actual legacy of the tournament day. So it's all crammed into a box. So each box supports an 8-person event. You can combine 2 together to go up to 16 very easily. And then these cards here are the unique abilities and upgrades for each of the different champions. So during the course of the day, as you're battling and trying to take control of all of the Godtears that are out there, you're leveling up your champions. So your champions at the end of the event are far stronger than they were at the beginning of the event. And in each of the OP kits that we do, each of the campaigns, these are specifically tailored to the story that we want to tell within this particular part of the world, within this particular event. So they will be unique and new. And again, like everything, at the end of the day, deconstruct it all, give it all to people, let them take everything home to remember their awesome time.
That's amazing. I really, really think that's great.
There's one thing that's awesome because we're gamers, but let's imagine we're shop owners as well. One of the things that's we've done is make it incredibly easy for someone to run this. So as I say, this is a deconstructed Swiss. So if you can deal cards out, you can run this event.
Oh, even better.
You don't need any Excel sheets, you don't need any tracking, you don't need anything. It literally is all done through the cards. And then at the end of each round, players buy these cards, get their next card, and they will go off and find their own tables and their own next opponents, and off they go. So it's incredibly easy for a store to grab this and run it, and you don't need a huge amount of experience to kind of control the day.
Awesome.
That's
Was there anything-
Godtear.
That's wonderful. That's Godtear. Well, thank you again for showing me the game. And can you remind us again where people can find more information?
Yeah, absolutely. So more information about the game, steamforged.com. If you want to find other people who are playing the game and talking about it, go to the Facebook group. And if you want to buy it and play it, go to your friendly local game store.